Taiwan is bursting with heaps of fun places to explore. Join me, Amber Hatfield, as I hit up travel hotspots, soak up some culture, and hunt down hidden gems. Let's go! Welcome back to Let's Go. On today's episode, I'm joined by Crystal Henry, and we are going to talk about the city of Tainan. She's lived in Tainan for about 8 years, so she definitely has the scoop on all the places to go and history of Tainan and what it's all about. So let's get into it. Could you give like an introduction about Tainan and maybe, in your opinion, makes Tainan different or kind of stand out from other places in Taiwan?
Yeah. So Tainan is known as the oldest city in Taiwan. I feel like there's a lot of rich cultural and historical factors, to consider when visiting Tainan. It was the first capital city in Taiwan before it moved to Taichung and then ultimately to Taipei, where it is today. It was established by the Dutch East India Company, and they actually even built a base, like a trading base in the area called Fort Zeelandia. So after the Dutch colonists were defeated, Tainan remained the capital of Taiwan until 1887. And then that's when it moved up north. But yeah, Tainan is really a cultural capital for Taiwan, with its rich folk cultures and all of the famous food, and then the rich religious um, experiences and places that you can visit here. So I think that one of the things that people can really get from coming to Tainan is experiencing the history.
You talked about Fort Zeelandia and some of the
hmm
history about Tainan. Do you think you could maybe talk about some of the historical landmarks or some of like the cultural places that you can visit in Tainan?
Yeah, of course. So like we mentioned, Fort Zeelandia, that's in Anping. And I feel like Anping has a lot of like really great historical places. They have Anping Old Street, which is, it's a bit touristy, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun. They have a lot of different vendors where you can do like some shopping. They have like a lot of like traditional items that you can buy there. They also have a lot of like food stalls and things like that. I feel like some of my favorite restaurants are in Amping because you can always get like very traditional styled dishes there. There's also the original Confucian temple. They've actually recently repainted some areas of it. So I think my little sister came to visit Taiwan about 2 years ago, and when we went, so much of it was covered up. But I think they're pretty much finished with that now. So when you go, you can appreciate all of that. And then near that area, there are also a lot of like older traditional streets, very similar to the old street in Amping, where you can get lots of tasty treats and like little trinkets and things like that. So that's also a really nice area. And then the remains of the original eastern and southern gates of the old city. So when you're driving through town, the east gate, I believe it's in the middle of a roundabout. So as you're driving through that area, you can see the original gate. So that's pretty interesting.
What kind of stuff do you like to do in Tainan as like a local?
I think for me personally, I love Anping. I feel like in my free time, that's probably where I spend the majority of my time. When you're in Anping, you can go to the beach, which is really nice. I absolutely love the beach. So spending time out there with friends is always a lot of fun. And then Amping also has a lot of really great temples. I love going to the different temples, and I think that if you're wanting to also experience that, Amping is a great place to do it. They have quite a lot of Matsu temples. So Matsu, the goddess of the sea. I think that's really interesting. I feel like I have a connection to the ocean. So being able to go to her temples, I think is a really fun experience. And Amping has some beautiful ones. There's even one that's really close to Amping Old Street that you can visit. So yeah.
And you talked about the food, like you talked about getting lots of traditional food in Amping.
Mm-hmm.
How about the food in Tainan? Like, what would you say is something that people should try, or what is something that you like to eat in Tainan? Because Tainan's like the capital of food.
Right, right. The city of snacks. I feel like I've heard it referred that way like so many times, and it's so true. It's difficult to even think about all of the things that you can eat here. There's so many delicious things. I know Tainan is really known for their beef soup, and then they're also known for like seafood dishes. With them being very close to the ocean, you can get a lot of fresh dishes like shrimp rolls. There's a restaurant in Amping that's very famous for their shrimp rolls. Um, Eel noodle dishes are really popular. Milkfish dishes are really popular. There's even a milkfish museum. So if you're really interested in that, check out the Milkfish Museum.
You kind of had different taste when you came to Taiwan at first, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you've gotten more used to the food. What are some things that like you would not touch or you would not eat when you first got here? And now you're like, oh, that's pretty all right.
Oh my gosh, stinky tofu. When I first got here, I would not go anywhere near it. I don't know what the turning point was. I wonder if, because I'm also a big consistency person as well. So like for example, there's a stinky tofu place close to my house. Shout out to Xiaolian Chou Tofu. I swear they are like the best stinky tofu place in Tainan. I love them so much. But like the consistency of it is like very crunchy. So like the outside is like really, really crisp. I also feel like the stinkiness level is like really appropriate. I feel like it's perfect for me. And then they also add like lots of garlic and other things to just make it phenomenal. So yeah, I don't know if I just found places where the consistency is what I'm looking for, but even even if the consistency isn't like super crunchy, like I've gotten to where I still enjoy it. So I don't know if it's just exposure or what, but yeah, I'm a big stinky tofu fan now.
And is there anything else that you love to eat in Tainan?
Yeah, I also really enjoy coffin bread. I feel like it's a little bit harder to find, but there are quite a few restaurants in Amping where you can get coffin bread. So you have like the toast, they kind of hollow it out and fill it full of like vegetables and meat. Usually it's either like chicken or some type of seafood. And then the meat and the vegetables are mixed together in like a white kind of creamy sauce, and then they fill it into the toast. Yeah, I really enjoy that. I think the first place I tried it at was a cafe. I'm drawing a blank on their name, but it's close to Haiyan. It's also in one of those little back alley you got to squeeze through type areas.
That's something that I really didn't appreciate, I guess, or like know. I mean, I knew it because I'd heard people say it, but I didn't really
Mhm.
appreciate it in Tainan until I came to Taipei. And that
Mhm.
there are all these really cute cafes on like little streets and little alleyways, and there's just so many places to discover and explore and stuff. And they're all really
Mhm.
cute and they've got like nice decor and like yummy cake or coffee and stuff like that. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
something that I don't really find as much in Taipei.
And I feel like it's almost like you're kind of going into like a different, I don't know, like I find so many times I'll be in Tainan, and if I get off of the major roads and I'm more in like the small little alleyways and stuff, I forget that I'm in Tainan sometimes. Like it almost seems like a completely different place to, the roads that I drive every day going to and from work. So,
Yeah, I know what
yeah.
you mean. Yeah, it's got a
Mhm.
different feeling. That's it for today's episode of Let's Go with Crystal Henry. Next week, we'll continue talking a little bit about Tainan and also some of the areas outside of the city itself that you can explore. See you next time.
Hello, it's Sharon Lin. Hope you have been listening to my show, Come Along, with new episodes up every Monday. We talk about the arts, history, culture, and local life of Taiwan and beyond. I will take you to historic sites, museums, unique destinations, and exhibits, such as Taiwan's presidential office, the National Human Rights Museum, tour around Taipei 101 with their COO, and of course, head to night markets. We also talk to cool people like Emily Wai Wu of Ghost Island Media, the Gleam Ensemble, an early music platform in Taiwan, local drag queen Boba Tea, curators of the Taipei Biennial, foreign ambassadors in Taiwan, and more exciting content to come. You can listen to Come Along on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, RTI's website and app. Let's kick off Monday with sunshine here on Come Along. See you then!
Hey guys, do you know RTI is not only on shortwave?
Aside from our website, we are also on most social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
Search Radio Taiwan International on Facebook.
Type in Radio Taiwan_ENG on Twitter.
And RTI English for YouTube and Instagram.
To learn more about Taiwan's local news, culture, and find out about our feature stories.
Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to be the most up-to-date possible.